Jim, I don't know if you want to start with cannabis. I see Bitcoin now all-time high this morning. You couple that with Bank of New York Mellon, what Dara just said about it a moment ago. Interesting day for the cryptocurrency.
I have to tell you, Carl, when you see MasterCard feeling that they have to put out a press release about what they're doing and can't really tell exactly where it starts or stops. I'll take Bitcoin, I'll send it to Bitcoin, you get Bitcoin, you don't get Bitcoin. But Visa's got Bank of New York. What is really interesting, Carl, is I think this is really driven by Elon Musk saying, you know what? Regular currency is no good anymore because everybody's printing it, and this is the more valid storehold. Musk is driving so much of this market. It's fascinating. David, I'm not the Doge. You know, you got the
Dogecoin, yeah.
Yeah, that's not necessarily what I expect that PepsiCo will take in return for Fritos.
Right.
Fritos. But there is a sense that if you don't put out a release, PayPal has a meeting today about this, you're being left in the dust. Do you find that quizzical that these companies are playing such a, let's say, a laggard game?
I guess, but I'm trying to understand whether this is a seminal moment in the history of this currency and or cryptos in general.
I am too.
And I'll say anecdotally, I'm getting questions from areas that I would not have anticipated in terms of, well, should I own Bitcoin? And not from people who are speculators, but sort of as a hedge, or is it simply something that should become a part of my portfolio in some way? You know, I'm sure you're hearing plenty of it.
Oh, my, well, how do you integrate it? That's what people are talking about. I mean, the MasterCard, Lisa Ellis, I think, is really unbelievable. Ed Moffett-Nathanson, partner of Moffett-Nathanson, she's just an incredible work trying to differentiate what Visa's saying from PayPal, from MasterCard. But you don't really understand, that when they say they'll accept Bitcoin, David, does that mean that you get it transferred into dollars immediately, a Visa strategy? Or is it a MasterCard strategy? I give you Bitcoin and they send you Bitcoin?
Right.
No one's really clear. And I think no one's really clear because it's happening too quickly.
So where's the clarity going to come from?
I think we're going to get we'll get the clarity tonight from Dan Schulman, PayPal, because he was the first guy to say, you know what, this is a legitimate deal of the major companies. And you know the market cap of PayPal is extraordinary.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We know that one, Carl, right? I check it, but it's right around 300 bill is usually where PayPal is. So not an insane. 331 billion. Sorry. Yeah, 331 billion.
It's definitely a different environment, Jim. I mean, it's one thing to have PayPal and Jack Dorsey talk about it, but I mean, Bank of New York Mellon is the largest custodial bank in the world. It's our oldest bank. And to hear them say that eventually they're going to treat it like any other asset sounds different.
It sure does. There's a couple of streams of thought that are going on about assets that are going to be treated differently. We're going to be talking about the pod stocks. What's the big differentiator in pod? It's only it's a cash business. It needs to be in credit. You can't buy on credit. They can't. They bring these big Brinks trucks to all the different repositories. That's going to change. That's going to go into credit. We're suddenly seeing this as a form of credit, David. That's what it is. People want to use Bitcoin as a form of credit. But, you know, how do you buy a Lamborghini with Bitcoin, and then how do you buy a bag of Doritos with Bitcoin?
Right. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's got to be immediately translated, or does it just, or is it its own thing?
Well, who wants that level of risk?
I mean,
what
is Musk going to price Teslas in actual Bitcoin? You know, I'm selling this for one Bitcoin. All right, 47 grand. Yeah, there you go. Right, he can sell the model. He's right around there in some of his models.
But we were on our set, Carl, yesterday for Mad Money, and I was asking Regina Gilgan, my amazing executive producer. I said, "Is it really a revolution that we're seeing? Are these just all revolutions, and we have to recognize the revolutions, or they are just kind of very exciting things that have interrupted the boring world of the PepsiCos? I don't know." I find so much. I find myself playing. There's a piece today in the Wall Street Journal about GameStop versus. It's an easy piece to read. GameStop versus Bitcoin, and they do have these characteristics, Carl, that make it so that they're just prurient. They're prurient, and I think a lot of people want to have car crashes, and I'm not seeing any, but I do see spikes in stocks, Carl, that are going to lose people so much money that it's just they're going to say, "Why did I ever buy a stock?"